Yeah, so later elementary years uh, were an awkward time. Uh, Especially since I was uh, going through puberty and everything. You know, I don't need to go into details because everybody knows what goes on, and um, that was the time when a lot of the kids in my class, they were starting to have their own kind of girlfriends. Um, I'm not talking about anything sexual here, but just you know, there was there were girls that they liked, okay, and that they liked to spend their time talking to and hanging out and everything, and well, I was interested, and it can't. There's no way for me to confirm it, but um, there might have been one classmate of mine who might have been interested in me, but this is just going off of you know I guess what swirled around, you know, what was a rumor, I guess, and for me, it was something that was hurtful because I couldn't trust them to be honest about something like that. I just uh, couldn't go about saying, well, why don't I find out if it's true or not? Because I all I can think of is it'd probably lead to further embarrassment and further humiliation that I didn't really have a stomach to deal with. I just had to say it can't be. It's just that's totally uh, that's totally false, and it's absolutely absurd. And well, I guess you can assume what happened. I went through those last 3 years, and I never uh, went to see if it was true or not. Um, it's just going. It's one of those things. It's just going to remain as a mystery that it's just never going to be solved. It's just it's pretty embarrassing for me to even be talking about this, but I figure you guys already know so much that I can go over something like this. Um, in the last year, that was the year the eighth grade dance took place. The last dance for the graduating class. I again, I ended up backing out. I didn't. I was a no-show at this thing. Um, I just something inside me said, if you go to that thing, So they've got, those kids have got something planned for you. You know, they're gonna find a way to embarrass you. You know, they're gonna find a way to set you up with something. Um, so you know, and despite being called out on it, you know, because I was like the only person in that class who didn't show up for that. And so, despite all of the criticism that I received, you know, about why didn't you go and all that, I just, you know, felt like I was too, I had experienced too much uh, to go through with that. And it had a big influence on where I went for high school, because there was no way I was going to go into my high school years with the same torment that I had gotten earlier. So the best way to avoid all that was pick the one school that they're not going to. And that's what I did. Um, I'd say out of the class of like 20 something, um, I would have to say that maybe out of the I guess it was 25 students or so. I'd say out of the 25, 20 went to private schools, private high schools. Um, so the best way to not meet with them again is go to a public school, because I'm guaranteed not to be face to face with them and be bothered continually. And that's the story for um, those years. So then high school came, and just to give you a brief picture of high school, I had a friend in the freshman year who turned out to be an Army kid. So, and I had a friend in the 5th grade previous, or no, it was in the 4th grade previously, who was also an Army kid. And well, as you know, Army kids don't stay permanently in their area that they're in. So I only got to know the guy in the 4th grade for 1 year, and then freshman year of high school, just 1 year, and that was the end of it. And those remaining years, you know, I was as in the back, in the shadows, and you know, that was the time when I just completely cut myself off from anybody. And that's been the continual story of my life, I guess, is that, you know, I have real trust issues with getting to know anybody, and I sure missed out on a lot of things because of that. Let me tell you. You know, I missed out on school dances in high school. I even missed out on graduation day. Missed out on the school prom. Didn't Never got a yearbook, so I don't have any yearbooks from my time in high school. No school pictures. And no lasting friendships from high school. Don't have any high school buddies to hang out with.